And that's okay. I'm just as good. So, we have with me is my husband, and he's helps me run the switchboard every now and then. He will just go ahead and, here's the keyboard, you can have it too.
Good, I gotta be able to type with something.
Exactly. So
Okay.
he can draw cards here and then. He's apprentice. He's learning how to do all these things. And if you watch the videos, there was a contest on Monday, and we put the videos up of the radio show on our website at MWReveal. Wait, how does it go? It goes www.youtube.com/Medicine Woman Reveal, all one word. And what we did was we did something special. If you discovered what that is, you can then make sure that you subscribe, as well as to, I think there's another condition of subscribing to the website or our profile page on Facebook if you're on Facebook. But send us a message of what did we do, and we'll do a drawing on Monday. Hopefully somebody will actually see what we've done, and you get a 30-minute free reading. That's a private 30-minute reading. Nobody gets to hear but you. And it can be me or her or the both of us. And the person that wins gets to choose. Okay, we have such a full board. It is just completely awesome.
Let's see, we got 5 people waiting. We're going to take everybody in order here, so...
We'll go with the first
caller. Area code 954.
You're on the air with Brenda and Scott.
Hello?
Hi, Brenda and Scott. Hi.
Hi! How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, good. I was trying to get my mic up so I could hear you better.
It's not working? Is it plugged in?
Okay, it was working, now it's not, but I still hear you. Alright, so...
I'm trying to listen to up a little bit.
Alright, so just tell me, how can we help you?
I was just wondering what you were seeing as far as a possible career for me. What do you think? What do you feel as being something really great for me?
Okay, and do you have a lot of interest or not a lot of interest?
You know, I am interested in entrepreneurship. And I am interested in business and kind of coaching and consulting. So that's what I'm kind of interested in.
Okay. All right. And we finally got you on the loudspeakers. That's good. See, and it's good that you have an interest, because if you didn't have them, then you would have to begin that path switch of taking what your routine is and start pointing you in the direction. As far as what your desires are, they are very strong, but they're not strong enough to motivate you past the doubt that I see. I could totally see you as that life coach, but we're going to look for a couple other things. I want to see, and I'm going to use some cards. I'm curious about if we were to, you said the life coach, and what else?
I was looking into coaching, consulting work.
Are they going to be like one and the same? Are you going to make it like I have a variety of things I do and not just separate?
Right. I wanted to gear toward I wanted to be first off completely holistic. And I wanted to be I don't know how to word it. I just want to kind of provide some strategic coaching, I guess.
Okay.
And I want the emphasis to be on very holistic, have a holistic approach to it. Am I making any sense?
Yes, yes. Yeah, one of the things is that the path they're showing me is that you have to keep that open mind, that as soon as something comes along, start learning to communicate with that higher self part of you that says, you need to learn this step in order to do this step. When I started to learn hands-on healing, I just figured that was just something for me to take care of my family. And you're talking about, from 1996 to 2003, it was like, oh, you're going to go into business. To do what? I got no skills. And by that time, I had many classes and things that were underneath my belt, but I hadn't thought of they were going to be towards anything. So you get to create who you are. And that is part of where you yes, I like that idea. But the problem is where does the money come from? The second thing is religious factors. There's some people's belief systems that are going to interfere, and they're going to expect, where's your credentials? And you're like, well, I didn't go just to one college, I went to done this, this, and this, and that. And it's that skepticism that throws you in a tizzy way before you even begin this journey. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Those
yeah.
things are your red flags.
Yeah.
Those will actually stop you. And how I got to these answers is because I says, what's your relationship to the career you choose? And that's what they told me. Now, is it a great match? Yes. It is a very great match. But looking at all the stumbling blocks that could stop you is what's very important for you to understand. Like with me, I started out with hands-on healing, and I got bored to tears, okay, as far as for sitting there and holding positions on the body for hours. And I said, oh, is there something else more I'm supposed to learn? Then I learned all kinds of, I got like 20 different modalities, healing modalities underneath my belt. And I started to sculpt myself without realizing that who and what I'm going to become. I'm a soul coach, and that's different than a life coach. And a life coach, there's all these different sets of rules and things that help. But a life coach or a soul coach, from my understanding, is that you're diving down. And you're going to, as far as when I teach people how to do it, you're looking and learning to look at the energies, but you're giving them the tools to process. A life coach gives you stuff to process and do things, but you want consistency. That was the main thing for me, is a resolution-oriented thing, is that it has to have a great outcome. The main thing that when you start upon your life coach journey is, why is it some people seem to thrive and others don't? Why is it that all of a sudden one day I'm happy and the next minute I'm not? It's those ways that the consciousness affects you that will actually cause you to do a roller coaster. And as far as a soul coach goes, you go and you help you resolve why you would have those reasons. That would actually cause you to resolve the problem, and what's left is the state of joy. That comes without working. You don't have to work for it. It is a natural part that we already know exists. But we have to stop over-identify with all the pain. So what I feel is that you want to be resolution-oriented. Is that correct? And you want that consistent results. And part of the journey of awakening that I watch people do when they become a coach of any nature is that it's the pitfalls of watching how some people just don't succeed. And it's not that they're losers. These are people that have a set pattern with their soul that says they have to go through this, they have to go through that, but there is ways to help them heal. And it's not just, I have nothing against positive thinking. That's awesome. Do it. But as a soul coach, what I learned was that if you're healing and all of a sudden you just think positive, you're not taking care of the foundation that created the hell in the first place.
Right.
You know how to put a Band-Aid and a bumper sticker over your issues. And the biggest thing is when I came across people that were Alcoholic Anonymous, they were taught the beautiful 12 steps, but the problem is they never addressed the foundation. They knew how to ignore it, how to overcome it, how to conquer, but their demons follow them every waking moment. And I said, there's got to be more besides this. And there is. And I can really feel your soul pushing you to want to have great success because you want the resolution. You want to actually see people happy. When they leave your office, this was the biggest thing for me, was that in the beginning of my career, when people would be happy, they were healthy, they were getting strong, you could feel the energies, everything balanced. The moment they walked out into the matrix, meaning they opened my front door and they left, their whole thought process went right into, oh my God, I got to do this, I got to do that, and that person is so mean, and blah, 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 and then they go back to their conscious routine of, I have to be in charge of everything, I have to do this, I have to do that. That I created becoming a spiritual human that actually helps people to change their conscious way of living. So you are going to probably do more than just want to help people heal their issues to some degree. You want to help them so they'll thrive, and that's part of what a life coach does as well. So again, yes, I feel you're going down this direction. Will it be successful? Yes. Will you find the people that you can help? Yes. Will you be able to bring them in droves? No. They'll trickle in, and it'll look like you're going to have to. It's like the picture or the story of how somebody is digging in the digging for diamonds, and they dig, day after day, still no results, maybe here and there, oh, maybe. But then all of a sudden the mothership is about ready to come in, but you quit 5 minutes before the miracle. Okay? And that is doubt. Doubt will actually come in and knock you off your course because why? Because your soul wants you to heal that. You need that energy to go to that next step to crack that diamond mine. But you can't until you resolve your issues. So in this case, the main thing that stops you from achieving the goal, because you're thinking, oh, I can only make $50 here. Okay, that's not enough to really pay my bills. I know that people like this. And that's where the trying time comes in. Why wouldn't you be able to bring a lot of people in? And that is because there's the wounded pride that you had as a 3-year-old. And that was, just give me a second to find it. You never got to process about crying. It's like you were not allowed to cry. So let me ask you, when you were growing up, were you told to toughen up, don't cry, don't let anybody see you cry, you don't do that?
And you know what? It was a step further than that. I was ignored. So yeah.
Okay.
I was ignored. Yeah.
Okay. And what happened is that even when it's all of that piece, is all that piece that sits there, that's going to be triggered. Okay? And I like the word you said, ignored, because that's how you know it. So, let's say you get out there, you go, all right, I'm going to advertise. And everybody ignores you. Even your friends don't acknowledge that you're doing it. You'll bring up that issue because that's what your soul wants to address. Because once you address that issue and resolve it, then all of a sudden you're going to be able to see people, the wall's going to come down and people will stop ignoring you. But you have to show proof that people ignore you and that you have to continuously put the law of attraction out there to keep drawing people in to refill that order that people ignore you. And what your soul's asking you is, can you resolve it now, please? I'm ready to move forward. And that is where we tendency to fall short, is because we couldn't process it then. There's no way to process it now until I help you. You understand, you have to decide to take this next step. And when you were ignored and it hurts you, you didn't get to cry, or at least somehow you didn't be able to process it, and they're saying how you know that story, they want you to heal it. And the first step, because this is not going to be just a one-time thing, this is, you've been collecting it for many years, but the biggest way to heal it will be your heart. And what I do is going to help you bring down the heart walls. I work with Hope Therapy, or the 14 meridians. The healing tools can be found on mwreveal.com on the left-hand side, healing tools, and look for Hope Therapy. When you watch the video, I'll say, oh yeah, I'll tell you to put your hand in, right wrist, first position, deep. Well, for you, your code is left wrist, first position, deep. L1D. When you watch the video, you understand where you have to place your hand and what you got to think about. We already talked about it. You know what it feels like to be ignored. You know what it feels like to have that crying, that pain, that anguish. You know that you're not sure how to communicate when somebody is about to approach you. So let's set this up. Here you are, happy as can be, then you get ignored. That threshold, that final point of getting over that hump never gets to happen because you're like frozen. You don't have a pathway to get you over that. Now, if you're going to come up against that, you will actually find a way to create a comfort zone to go around it. You're asking yourself to jump into an arena where you're going to have to face that. And I'm telling you, you can heal this. And that is that part of the pain. To the point where you hate when people do that to you. Hate may be a strong word, but you will find the words that work for you, and you get into how you know it. Just remember, L1D is going to be your code. Make sure your finger is in the middle of your palm, because you're going to think about how wounded and how hurt you feel when that occurs. And you're going to look with your sensory system, the way you look with your eyes or you listen with your ears, and you're going to be staring at moments in the past of when those incidents occur. And you're going to hold that spot, do Hope Therapy, until the number that's so gargantuous, that's like a 10,000 or 10 billion, starts to come down. You want it to go down to 0. You want to always test. to see how you still know it. How is the pain still there? And then the number is going to come down. The color is going to change. The left brain and the right brain are going to finally say, hey, do we have to keep making this issue? Do we need to keep bringing up these thoughts? And you stick with it, you'll actually get to change those patterns in your brain. You understand?
Absolutely.
All right, so I want you to take the choice and heal. I can only lead you to the door. Now you need to walk through, okay?
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Stay blessed and contact me later on and let me know how it's doing, okay? And if you have problems, again, call back in and we'll work on it.
I will. Thank you.
Thank you. Namaste. All righty, and then we will take the next caller.
Area code 617.
You're on the air with Brenda and Scott.
Hi, Brenda. How are you?
We're good, and how are you?
I'm okay. I am struggling with feelings of frustration because I know my life is stagnant, but I'm doing everything in my power to move forward, both, professionally, and it's like the universe has blocked all efforts. That's how it feels.
Very good at knowing how you know this and how you see it. Because you're looking at the pattern, the matrix of how the code is playing out in front of you. Instead of being mad that, that it's happening, you're looking and going, damn it, I see it. And that is great awareness. What's going to happen for you, my dear, is that we're going to help you heal this. Because you already know what you want to focus on. The feeling, nature, all of it is ready to go. Now, the first thing they tell me to do is have you do hope therapy. Did you hear from the last call where to go?
No, I missed that part.
Okay, so where you're going to go is mwreveal.com. On the left-hand side is Healing Tools. And you'll see, once you get there, Hope Therapy. Okay, the Hope Therapy is you have to watch the video and understand it so that you understand when I tell you L2D is left wrist, second position, deep. Okay, and that means your thumb's going to be pushed deep into the second pulse point. The thing is that you got to understand that your layer of frustration is the first layer you're going to focus on. Okay, you're going to let the self-talk just go nuts, and when test it, put on a scale from 0 to 10, and when it starts to come down, great. Okay, when you feel like, man, all right, I'm all right. But then what's going to happen is you're going to hold L2S. This is about the gallbladder. The gallbladder is about how quickly we spin out. And what you're going to do is start disrupting your routine or your strategy of how you see the frustration. You've gotten so well acquainted with it that now you're best friends with frustration and the attraction factor of, oh, it's not going to happen. And what happens is you go into a spin out. Now we want to prevent you from doing that again. We want to resolve it, create the closure so that your body and your strategy says, oh, we don't have to do that. So L2S. And what you're going to notice is the resentment. Whether you have it, somebody else has it, or the resentment of whatever career you're doing. I mean, you look at resentment from all angles. Because literally, it is stopping you. And it's the resentment from the past that causes you to repress your emotions that you weren't allowed to have, according to what I'm seeing with your soul, as a kid. It's like you had to toughen up, buck up, follow through, suck it up, whatever it is. I feel at 4 years old, you're supposed to get over it. Well, there's a part of you that felt like you couldn't process. And in a way, you wish that you could. And because you couldn't, there was a little resentment there. That, why can't I just be emotional? You understand what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I just heard that tone in your voice, you know exactly what memories and things you need to look at. Put them on the scale from 0 to 10 and do the healing tool and watch those come down. But please first do L2D so that you can work on anger, frustration, feeling the aggression from the universe that says, oh, you can't have this. Literally just allow anything to flow through your mind until the self-talk slows down and quits and the feeling nature of how you know it disappears. Always test it, please. Okay? And then do L2S. All right?
Okay.
And listen to the archives, watch the YouTube, whatever you need to do, but get all the gems and heal them all the way down. And I'm going to give you a tip because they told me, because this is so repetitive or dogma for you, and this is what I tell usually all of my clients and customers and listeners, and this is it. I give you the healing tool of hope therapy, and you start working on the frustration, and it comes down.
I think we
Just lost her?
Yeah, said that caller's dropped.
Okay, well, I'm going to continue to talk, and then I'll have her, if she calls back in, then she can do this.
Yeah.
And if not, that's fine. What you're going to do is you're going to allow yourself to pay attention. When the frustration comes back up, you hold that point again, put it on the scale from 0 to 10, hold that point, and it'll go down faster. And sometimes the bigger whoppers or the motherships will come up, but face them down the same way, and what will happen is eventually your brain will stop creating that reality over and over and over. Back. Okay, so we got a beautiful lineup of people, so who would be next?
We got next is area code 810.
You're on the air with Brenda and Scott.
Hi, Brendan, Scott. How are you? My name is Jacob.
Hi, Jacob.
My question is, I was just wondering, what you see for my love life, if you see any new guys coming, or if there's any guys around me right now that I should be paying attention to. So, yeah.
Okay. All right, so let me look at this.
Let's see.
What's interesting is that I see the feeling of the bullying, B-U-L-L-Y, a bully. It's like, let me ask you, the pattern of how you used to date. Okay, so let's look in the past. Did you feel like you weren't going to be accepted or bullied on some part as far as meeting new people?
Yes.
Okay, because the relationship factor that I'm looking at actually is that I feel like you only want to date those that you've actually got to know. But the ones that I actually see that could give you joy, because I see several in a row here, are the ones that actually are not in your group. You would actually have to go beyond your comfort zone and probably make the first greeting. Does this make sense?
Yes.
So what I'm feeling is that you have this energy of somebody's going to bully you one way or the other. And even though you haven't really experienced it you haven't really experienced that, have you, in the last year or two? I don't really feel you have, but I feel like it's a real old wound.
Yes, you're right. Bullying is a really old wound with me. I haven't really experienced it in about a year or so, but yeah, I'm used to it. So.
Okay, so the relationship card, the first one I pull up says is that you have this red flag issue, which means it makes you become timid. It makes you become cautious. But if you have this in your attraction factor, which you do, it's going to actually eventually cause you statistically to bring someone in that's going to bully you. And then you're going to go, crap, see, I don't even want to do this. This is why I don't do this. So it'll reinforce why you wouldn't do it. I'm glad you understand. So the red flags actually need to be out of the way, because, and now I'm going to ask you, so if, and he chooses, let's say he chooses to remove these red flags, what would happen? Then you'd be able to be more optimistic about life, especially your love life. And then let's just see about any other relationships that would be occurring. Is that then your next obstacle would be to look at, wow, it looks like you're afraid to actually have this to be the one. It's like you've had a past life experience that said, oh my God, I don't know if I can really put my heart out there so that this could be the one. So that would be the next thing that you would address. Do you understand?
Yes.
Because I totally can feel, I can feel people accepting you and accepting what's going on. But what I feel is that you're actually, okay, now I need to ask, is he very scared to have a relationship on a heart-to-heart level that deep? Yes. From this lifetime? No. It shows me from a past lifetime you really felt your heart get broken. So all I can tell you is that, all right, so I want you to tell me, have you ever had any long-lasting relationships in this life?
No.
Okay, no. And then the reason why is because your heart knows what it feels like to really be hurt. So now I've got to find out what event occurred that would cause, okay, so there's an event that actually happens in this particular lifetime that supports the past life so that you can repeat the pattern. And they're saying it was about 2 years old. I don't understand what a red jacket is, but I see a red jacket. You look ridiculous. So did you like Michael Jackson? I don't know. They're showing me a picture of a red jacket. Somebody humiliated you. There's that bullying again. And it literally turns you off from wanting to reach out. Okay, so this reminds me of my story a little bit. My question is that how do people reach out to be friends? This was so huge for me because I waited for people to come to me, and when they come to me, I knew it was safe to be their friend. Until I learned out later down the road that's not true either. So I got very petrified and scared to reach out to people, which literally caused me to be very closed off. So my question that I had to my husband, okay, so why won't you be that person's friend on Facebook? You don't know them. How are people supposed to reach out? And it got very frustrating because I am not an introvert anymore. I reach out. Somebody said, "Want to be friends?" Sure. And I give the benefit of the doubt. I don't have the red flags. I have my boundaries. But they're healthy boundaries. And I don't have to attract in those people like I used to in the past. I used to attract religious people that would drive me crazy. And now, I kind of attract them out of my way. They zig and I zag. So this all can be taken care of. So the red flags come about when you got burned in a past life, and they're saying that you could actually heal this. You're a little timid and a little scared about what would happen. Who would you be if this was healed? Oh, let me tell you, if by resolving the fear, the only thing that happens next is joy. Why? Because in the caudate nucleus in your brain, where fear is stored, when the fear is closed and removed, your brain has, that part of the brain has room for joy. Joy and fear is the only two states that sit into that part of the brain. So when you remove one, the other one just gets to float and be at the surface. Okay, how would you protect yourself? Well, okay, so your soul says, well, how would I protect myself? How can I stop judging them and then turn around and get hurt? Well, when you resolve this, your judgment, first of all, is actually causing you to stay in the limbo of hell. So if we remove the judgment, and we remove the pain, the anguish, the self-talk, how you know them bullying, what's going to happen is the attraction factor is that you're not going to pull in bully people. You actually are going to start to resolve that out of your world, which will leave room for allowing you to have love. So bullying was stayed in place by your soul's choice so that it could keep love away. Do you understand? It used bullying as a shield to have an excuse so you don't have to open your heart. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Because if you're focusing on the bullying, there's no reason to open your heart. But it gets tiring because there's another part of you that wakes up and goes, oh my God, I'm so ready. Enough's enough of this shit. I want something else. So, I'm going to ask your soul, are you ready to heal this heart? Yes. Now, okay. Now, did you hear from the last caller where I said to go for the healing tools?
Yeah, MW Reserve or
Reveal.
Reveal. REVEAL.
Reveal.
Yep. Okay, so you go to mwreveal.com, go under Hope Therapy, or the healing tools, then to Hope Therapy, because you're going to heal your heart. Now this is going to be a little tricky for you because your soul's already telling me that you're not going to want to do it. And not because you're being selfish, it's just that there's that timidness, okay? Because what if I take away that pain, then I'll be open to vulnerability and people are going to hurt me. That's not true. Because once you remove the attraction factor from it, then you're not going to project people to do that to you. So the first thing that I'd like you to hold is L3S. L is in the left wrist, so your right thumb will be on your left wrist in the third position, and you're going to hold your thumb soft. Okay? And you're going to think about how you're paralyzed. Your will, your volition to move forward is, I don't want to, or I don't know how to. And then withholding who you are when you're around people. You know, oh, is it safe so I can just smile and be me? I'm not sure yet. Okay? Then there's the myth that you're angry that there's something here. Then the timidness of how timid you feel and how all of those, and then the inefficiency. I'm not efficient enough. I can't do this. So all of these little things, even the point of where you're wishy-washy. Yes, I can. No, I can't. Yes, I can. No, I can't. And once you start to put that on a scale from 0 to 10 and listen to all of that, now this is a big cloud that follows you around. And once that starts to calm down, and you're like, okay, You feel like it's down to 0. Now, it's going to pop back up, but then you hold that spot again, and eventually your brain will stop creating that reality over and over. The biggest one is when you're ready to heal the heart, you'll know when. Is you're going to hold L1D. And you'll know when to heal this because you're like, okay, fine, I'm going to face it now. I'm going to look at it. Now, and you're going to hold L1D and think about how much your heart was broken, how much pain was there, how much you don't want to do this again. And you watch other people and it happens to other people. Now, when your brain and you're starting to hold that position and all of a sudden you start to go la la la, talk happy and stuff, just stop because your brain your subconscious mind is protecting you from the pain. So it's going to pull you out of the healing intentionally to save you. Doesn't mean you don't want to heal. It just means that there's a block. Go back to L3S. Heal that. And then go back to the heart. So you're going to be doing back and forth. Because you have been holding all of this stuff from the past life causing you so much pain in this. And I know you're ready to blossom to have not to be your wounds. According to the cards, you don't want to be your wounds anymore. So that's a great thing. So you understand what you need to do?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you can't do it alone, because it's a huge thing, I am a soul coach. You know, you go to that MW Reveal, and you will find that if you, how much we charge, or you can set up an appointment and do what we need to do, or you can keep, self-help, doing it alone. That's fine, and you can always call back into the show, and we can help you further. Okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, thank you, dear, and stay blessed.
Okay, namaste.
Namaste. Okay, so gotta click the one mic. How come it didn't shut? Okay, so what we're gonna do is, nope, not really. Okay, so we're ready for the next one. No, that's it. That's correct. Area code 510. You're on the air with Brenda and Scott.
Hi, I want to ask a general reading.
I'm sorry, what?
That's a general reading.
A general reading.
I want to ask a general question.
So, general, because you got a question, or you just want me to give you a reading?
A general question.
All right, so go ahead and just ask me a question. Go ahead.
I want to know will me and my ex-boyfriend Stuart will remain friends. His name is Andy.
Okay, so will you remain friends? All right, so that's, I want you to
now
focus on. Okay, so focus on the person for me. Focus on the person for me. Go ahead and flip those over. And as you focus on that, we're going to see what's going on. It looks like that there's, the unrequited love, the love that you don't get back. You give out the love and it doesn't get back. That's just something that you have in this relationship that will you remain friends? You will have the points of time where you guys had passion and the memories that will pop up that will cause you to maybe create certain spikes in the relationship to be friends and then not be friends. So like you could be a friend for a week and then not a friend for 2 weeks. So this is good, like a roller coaster relationship is what I'm seeing. But does this make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you were in the relationship, you would actually see it happen within because you'd see each other every day. But because you're not in that space, it's still going to happen, but it's going to show in a different way. It'll be the memories that are going to go, oh my God, I really want this, and then he'll be affected by it as well. But then there's that, oh, but I know I won't get the love back, and all the unresolved stories that you have too between you two. Okay, that's literally you're continuing it from there to here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, did you need to know what you need to heal so that you can either move together or grow apart so that you can go to the next part of your adventure in your life?
I already had moved on. I already moved on with someone else.
Okay, but there's the red flags that come up from your ex that comes up and affects you in this new relationship. So basically you're carrying the baggage forward.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what I mean by that?
No.
Okay, so and when we're in relationships, it's the way we react, we respond, our aches and our pains, our hurts. we learn to toughen up and overcome and move forward. And we go into the next relationship. Well, if you haven't resolved or healed anything from the last relationship, you will carry it into the next one. And usually it'll be worse than the first. So I'm going to look at one thing in particular that you need to address so that you can have a healthy relationship. And that's what I'm just going to look at. Whoops, there's a card that just flew out at me. And what else does this person need to address to have better, happier, healthier relationships? Okay, so 2 cards fell out at me. And I'm using the Clep-Baron Reed, the Chanted Map. And of course, there's a lot of good cards in here. Alright, let's see what this says. As the story unfolds, it says, the moonlight, your intuition allows you to see beyond the mundane, logical, and analytical. Follow it. Moonlight beckons, come and trust your intuition to lead you into places that may not seem logical. Your hunches will be right on target. Resist second-guessing yourself, for your alternative perception is especially sharp right now. You can see beyond the surface of things and truly read between the lines. This is a good time to use oracle cards or some system of divination to gain information. Remember that the language of intuition is a symbolic one. It becomes subtly through a hunch, a tingling, a clear sound, or an animal or an object crossing the path. Spirit is sending you messages to help you now. Success is yours in the following signs. So that part of you is use your intuition. The second card that came up after that is the Mountain. And it says, you have the capacity to flow around any obstacle. This is a time to adapt. Sometimes you will come across what appears to be an insurmountable obstacle, like a huge mountain that separates you from your success. You might think that climbing it or chiseling it away as it is the answer. But why take a chance at such a treacherous, tedious approach? Be like the rivers that flow around the mountains naturally. You move past this obstacle relatively quickly if you choose the easy way around. This is the time to adapt to your circumstances. If you decide to climb, remember to take one step at a time, opting for the next right action. So, use your intuition is what they're telling you. There's a part of you that already knows this is a similar pattern. And just use caution. The relationship with this other person, you know that the obstacle that's in the way, you have a plan already in action of how you normally would just overcome it. So, the question that you had was, will you guys remain friends? The answer is yes. Will it be a little rocky here and there? Yes, because memories will pop up. The new relationship you have, which is going good, but just keep doing what you're doing because that is your pattern. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you, dear.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Excellent. We're back. All right. So let's go ahead and take a caller. Area code 954. You're on the air with Brenda and Scott.
Hi, how are you?
Hi. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Well, this is just call it just to find out about my in general, if you can do a reading for me.
Okay.
I would
Yeah.
like to move, and I would like to move towards the beach, and I'm looking into that. I want to know if that's gonna happen.
Okay. So I'm gonna look. Okay. So focus on the area you would like, because moving is in your cards, but focus on the area that you like.
Yeah, I would like to move to Fort Lauderdale Beach.
All right, so you focus on that, and what I'm hearing is at least 3 or 4 months. There's a pattern of how you do things, and it says that you like to dream, and you think about it, and it starts to build, and then what comes into play is a wishy-washy. So then you have to, a part of you feels like, yes I can, no I can't, yes I can. And then usually you have somebody that will actually say something, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, there's my approval. Yes, I'm going. Now, the stage that I feel you're at is that you're still in the dreaming stage. You haven't really got to the wishy-washy stage. You're in the yearning stage of traveling. I still feel like, yes, you're going to, but you have a pattern of how you're going to do it. Just like how you do anything is how you can do everything. Okay, is that what, so,
Yes, I'm sorry I dropped something. Okay, do you see anything about my love life?
okay, so let's look at this.
Thank
Are you single right now?
Yeah.
Okay, what I see you is, I feel like you're standing in the kitchen and you're this cute little thing and you're looking out and you can see the opportunities of men around you. But there's a part of you that knows that you can talk and chit chat and do things, but I really feel like there might be something that stops you from allowing you to have those relationships. And there's a part of you when you start dating and you're looking at people or just looking at people, do you feel like this could be the one? Do you let that question run in your head first? And they're saying that this question actually stumps you because it doesn't allow for the undevelopment or the unfoldment process with the person. It is yes or no. You are or you're not, okay? But it actually interferes because, why does it? Let's find out. Why does it interfere? When you were growing up, did you have people that just whined a lot? Draw a card.
You said what?
Did you have people in your family that just whined? Whined about everything?
Yeah, all my kids, they whine. I mean, they're not talking to me now because I stopped helping.
Okay.
So,
And how about when you were growing up? And when you were growing up, did you have brothers and sisters?
yeah.
Did they whine a lot?
Not really.
Not
they
really?
have to work really hard to get what they want. But these times, I guess we do so wrong.
Okay, so what about your parents? What about your parents?
My mother, yeah.
Okay, that is what I'm feeling is that you're trying to avoid, is that you don't want to become like that. You don't want to become whiny. You don't want to become complainy. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Did she settle for the man in her world? Did she settle?
No, she's actually well alive and she's single, yeah.
Okay, because it feels like in her old days, it feels like she settled and decided the time that you were very young and vulnerable was that, well, I guess that this is it. I'll have to have what I have. Now, I feel like she grabbed some balls and she actually made some major decisions later on in her life, but when you were young, she felt like she had to settle. And that's where I feel right now there's a part of you that oh yes, I want love, yes, I'd like to find the one, yes, that'd be great, but you don't want to whine, you don't want to complain, but you also don't want to settle either. And that's where
No, I think right now I do. I'm 47 years old.
You're quite young.
Yeah, I'm a single mother. I have a 30-year-old daughter and a 26-year-old son and a 19-year-old son and a 6-year-old boy.
Ah.
They're all gone. I'm only with my 6-year-old son in the house, and with my ex-husband and I, we lived not too long ago.
Okay.
So I'm in that.
Yeah, and there's a part of you that is ready. You're kind of excited. Like I said, you're kind of excited, but you're afraid that you're going to. All right, so anyways, I pulled this one card, and we're going to find out and if there's more cards that I have to pull. So let's figure this out. It says dry desert. It says dig deep for inspiration. What's that, honey?
No, if you only know, I just came back from Norway. I was living there for 1 year, and I'm kind of starting again here in Florida because my ex-husband took everything from me.
Ah, so maybe.
And all my assets are in Norway right now, so I'm starting from nothing. But I see the blessings, coming more and more every day. I am a jewelry designer, and I'm getting orders, and I'm working on that.
Wow.
I just bought myself a new car. I'm moving to the beach where I really find peace and where I really find myself, because I want to be near the water.
Maybe that's why we got the sand and the desert card.
And I'm in that process, so I'm single. I'm a kind of person that I don't like to be single. I always like to have somebody.
Well, right now, Okay, so this card that comes with relationships, this card says, Dry Desert, dig deep for inspiration and truth. Now is the time to become resilient and adaptable. Is your life presenting you with opportunities that seem to yield nothing? And I don't know where this card's coming in because I feel like you are receiving. But let's, like I said, follow this path and see what they say. Have your ideas dried up? Does it feel like you're on an endless journey through a dry, hot, lifeless desert? This card reminds you that there are times when you're meant to become resilient as you journey through harsher circumstances. You're being required to conserve your energy until after consistent effort you reach the oasis you're searching for. Consider the creatures that live in these conditions. They have adapted to thrive in spite of the outer environment. In a desert, water essential for life can be found deep underground. So go deep within yourself now. Find your truth there. Let spirit sustain you while you locate the real source. Whatever it is you're asking about will not be found in the conditions you're in until you move past the surface of things and choose to do the real work and discover the answers deep within you. This may not seem like the most productive time, but looks are deceiving. This is a most important place to find what's truly right for you. Now that's interesting because now I'm going to ask your soul, what do you want her to know that she needs to do, go within and find, so that she can allow love to come in her space? It goes back.
What do I want to know?
Your soul is telling me right now, I feel the energies that's going on with your soul, and the energies I see are cords that are unresolved stories, and the main thing that it's unresolved is that it's whining. It says it don't want to become. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you know anybody that is old and bitter?
In my family?
Yeah, it could be anybody that you know.
Yeah, my kids.
Okay.
My kids, because I stopped providing for them. I said enough is enough, and neither one of them are talking to me right now. But I told them that I need time for myself and learn about. To assimilate what's going on right now. It's a lot of things going on. But I try to keep my positive attitude, and I'm trying to be happy every day.
All right, so they are your fresh experience, and that whining that's happening with them, and I'm glad that you created healthy boundaries, that the last thing you want to do is enable a relationship where they are constantly feeding off of you, or they don't get a chance to develop and grow. And so you are doing a very good thing for your soul. It won't be in their eyes, but it is for your soul, because that is their next leg to how they're supposed to grow. You cut the apron strings. It's now let them ready to roll, especially if they're already in that age bracket where they can do this. It's different when they were teenagers, but this is time for them to flow. And they're saying that this bitterness, the stuff that comes up, these are your fresh experience. And this is literally what stops you from wanting to create a relationship, because there's a part of you that feels like you're going to draw that back in. So the question is that the man that was in your life before, was he whiny too?
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I cut everybody off.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say yes.
All right, so there you go. How you know it and how you repeat things. This is what your soul is saying it wants you to heal, is because it literally is your attraction cord. So the next man that comes in your life, you are going to attract them to do the same thing. This reminds me of when I started to date again, I kept attracting the same kind of guys. And I'm like, why the hell am I doing that? Well, I didn't have a pathway for anything different. And when I finally started to heal my attraction factor of the guys that liked to drink, there's nothing wrong with drinking, but they always had to spend money on booze, and they always had to have, go to the bar, or they always had to have sports, or they always had to do this. And it was like, seriously, does any of that appeal to me? No. Why do I have to attract these men? They're great men, but not with me. And I thought, okay, so when I healed, I got a man that's 180% different than they are, and I'm the happiest woman around because I got introduced to somebody that's paying attention to me. Hey, be yourself. I love it. He likes comic books, and I've been together with him for 18 years. And it's because he shows me a whole different world and the attention I need, and I don't have to attract the way that I used to. So you're changing your attraction factor. That's literally what they want you to do, is change that attraction factor. And your the way the healing tool would be that you would go to mwreveal.com, go to the healing tools, look under Hope Therapy, and you're going to take
What is the website, sorry?
M is in medicine, W is in women, reveal, REVEAL.com, MW Reveal.
Okay.
And then you're going to go onto the left where the healing tools are, and then you're going to look for Hope Therapy.